Alright, hello, this is John Mule Tech Talk, and today we're going to talk about the iPad. And take me a second here. Get this. Alright. Anyways, I got an email here. Anyways, about the iPad. Now, this is an iPad right here. It's one of the white ones, as you can see in here. But for this, you've got on the iPad 2, you got the front camera. You've got the, well, it's hard to see in here, rear camera. You've got your microphone up here. Standard 30-pin connector on the bottom. Well, this is a military grade case. There's a speaker behind this thing, and your home button. Well, goes there. Anyways, what I'm trying to tell you here, for people that do not want to go with a PC, probably hear my son in the background, but who do not want to go with a PC, this, let me see here, this will probably do you. I don't know if you can see this because of the, let me get the light off here. That was an email coming in. But this, you've got your email down here. You can surf the web. You can take pictures, and you can, if you got music, you may not be able to see it down there, but it's got iTunes. The other thing with it, and this is good for those that are not computer savvy, they make it pretty easy to work with, and I don't know if you can see a lot of what's going on here. You have little applications. It makes it so much easier because Apple has created a app store for, you know, applications. If you need to do certain things with it, you've got the applications. One thing I've noticed, and this is personal preference, but this is true. I've tried to, when I've had a PC, I recently tried to, you know, go and then get all my email accounts, which I have like 4 or 5, and going through the iOS and even on my MacBook, which is what I'm recording this with, was fairly easy. I just found the settings information and went in, entered it, and it went and brought it right up within 5 minutes. I spent almost a day trying to get my email. Mac, when I've been dealing with email, and you know, for you who may be iOS adept, that stands for, that's what Apple's operating system is iOS. They're on version 5, I believe 5.0.1. It's so much easier to do your email. Like I said, I spent probably 8 hours over the course of 2 days trying to get all my email accounts that I receive critical emails from, for my college courses and for just family and so on, trying to get it set up on a Windows laptop in your Windows Mail, and I could not get all my emails up and working. But on this, it's fairly easy to get your email set up. You go in and there's a simple email setup, and for folks that are not computer savvy or literate, it's probably an easier choice to do an iPad than to do a laptop, because most things, you know, they provide you a keyboard on there that you can work with, and other items. There's notebook, note-taking apps, there's sketching apps, there's all sorts of apps to do everything, remotes, so on. I think there's a Harmony remote for those that are AV adept and know what that is. But there's several things you can do with it, and in some cases it makes it way easier to, in general, you're going to get, your basic, you'll have your iPad in there. It comes in, I believe it's three different uh, storage sizes. You're dealing with your 16 uh, gigabyte version is the lower end. I believe that retails about 500. In the Wi-Fi configuration, your 32 is about $100 more, and then 64 tops out. I believe it's $699. On the other end, however, with your 3G, for those who need your iPad to be able to connect to the internet while you're out, you probably start around at 16 gigabytes at 629, 32 gigabytes 729, and then for 64 829. Now, if you check with some retailers like GameStop and Best Buy are running specials for refurbished models, and in some cases they may be less, they may be similar in price. For your iPads, no iPad Wi-Fi, the first generation iPad Wi-Fi, 16 gig 374, up to 64 runs about 524, and that's with 3G. Oh, that's Wi-Fi and 3G for the regular iPad. That's without, of course, without a camera. With your iPad 2, you're talking about the one with the camera and Wi-Fi, and you've got your iPad 2 with Wi-Fi with 3G. You've got the white and the black. You've got 32 gig, and up at GameStop, you're talking a little bit less in the 16 gigabyte bottle. It's run a few dollars less, $474.99, and it goes on up in your Wi-Fi to the 32 at 529. Now you're what I see on the GameStop site, $499 refurbished out the door with 3G internet with AT&T. Best Buy, and I've got a dog barking in the background. You might hear Best Buy. Geek Squad refurbishes them. Wi-Fi 32 gigabytes on an iPad original, $399. Your Wi-Fi 3G, $419. And it can go up to $449. Now that, if you just need an iPad and that's what you're looking for without the camera in that, then that may work for you. On Best Buy site, I really didn't see any iPad 2s refurbished. However, the GameStop site, they had some for that were refurbished. One thing you may check if you want to get the iPad, but you want to pay a little bit less, check for the Apple Store. And specifically, you should look over in, if you're a student, check the education store, but also try to check clearance or refurbished. In the refurbished models, you're talking probably 400 for the original iPad refurbished, but the same for Wi-Fi, with the 3G and a 16 gigabyte is running about what your Wi-Fi 32 gigabytes running. Your iPad 2 with Wi-Fi 3G in your refurbished model is running at 16 gigabytes, about $549. Just Wi-Fi, 32 gigs, $499. Original 64 gigabyte is about what the iPad 2 with 32 is. On the top end, you can look to pay about $729 with 3G and refurbished iPad 2 with Wi-Fi in the 64 gig configuration in black or white. You're looking at about $100 drop in that. So the 3G version in 64 gigabytes about the same whether you go Verizon or you go AT&T. If you're looking to go there, if you're probably an older person, I'm not trying to be age discriminatory here, but if you're an older person, you don't want to mess around with a whole bunch of stuff. You want your stuff just you want to be able to go on, maybe read books through Kindle, do a little bit of surfing, do your email, so on, but you don't want everything that comes with a PC or dealing with a laptop, having to flip a laptop open. These iPads, they have Bluetooth, they make Bluetooth keyboards for them, so you can have they have cases even out, if I remember, that resemble like a laptop setup. But if you want something just simple, you don't have to go for this case. This case I got because I tend to put it in my laptop bag, and when I go out there, I'm outside a lot of times, and I don't want to get dust or dirt up in it. So if somebody's, say, using cutting wood or whatever, and I'm around that, it won't hurt it. Also, with this particular case, it's a Griffin Survivor case. It'll take a bit of a drop, though, too, if I was to drop it, which I'm not perfect on. I will drop stuff, tend to drop it periodically. But anyways, in Griffin, there's others. I believe OtterBox has a case. I know from this, the case runs above $50 range. I think almost 70, 80 bucks for the case. It's been a good case. The thing I sort of am not keen on is some of these tabs. Oh, I also forgot to mention earlier, you got your headphone input, and on these, the nice thing with these, now they make GarageBand where you can make music right on the iPad. And some of my YouTube videos I have actually recorded, edited, and put together right on the iPad. So that's one of the nice things with the iPad 2s that you don't get with the first generation iPad. So it didn't have the camera on there. One little beneficial thing, and something that older folks might like, especially if you want to do some video calling and you've got friends with say an iPhone or iPod or iPad, you can, if you have them in your contacts and they have an iOS device, you can use FaceTime, and over Wi-Fi you can do a video call with them. So think about this, you have a family member, maybe they can't be there for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and you wanted to just say hi and everybody be able to see everybody else. You can do that through FaceTime.